because I am sick and tired of having a 27-year-old who cannot take care of herself.
Every time, I wanted to come back home, he opened the door and let me in. He allows this all to happen. It makes him feel good.
You think you're owed all of this, right?
Yes, yes.
That's entitlement. That's the definition of entitlement.
I'm suing my daughter for $960 in back rent because I am sick and tired of having a 27-year-old
Then why you take me back?
who
Hold on.
cannot take care of herself.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, with the rent, what was she supposed to pay you?
$60 a week,
For 16 weeks?
16 weeks.
And to date, has she paid you a dime?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right.
She's cost me.
Okay. Did you have an agreement with your father?
We did. We had an agreement that I
And
would
it
pay.
was an oral agreement?
Yes, an oral agreement
That
that
you
I
would
would
pay
pay $60 a week, but I have not paid anything.
Okay. Why not?
I don't really make that much money at my job, and I don't really feel that he really needs it. So I just don't pay him.
See, Your Honor, I don't need it.
But he allows it.
How did she end up feeling like you don't need it and I can live there for free?
You know, that's a good question. I'll tell you why. Because this is the first time I'm charging her rent.
Oh.
The very first time.
What made you decide enough was enough and you decided you wanted to charge her rent? What happened?
I went shopping 2 weeks ago for food, and she's putting in food here, food here,
I see things in the cart.
expensive food here, which is
You and-
okay.
it's you and your
Which is
wife?
okay.
Is it you and your wife?
No, me and her.
Oh,
I'm
just
shopping
the
with
two of
her.
you. Oh, okay.
And
No.
she puts this in, and then she hands me $4.
I
Says it's a
contributed
$120 food bill.
Did you ask her for some money?
Yeah, I got
No.
$4.
But you
Okay.
didn't tell me I had to pay for anything.
I didn't tell you how to pay for anything. You
No.
just kept filling the.
Because
the-
I need food.
Okay,
When
look at me.
she needs food.
All right, look at me. How
Right.
did that happen?
Yes. I
Okay,
mean,
how did it get like this? You share with the court. Because are you thinking your daddy's little girl, right?
yes, I am.
She is.
Okay, I can tell.
Uh-huh.
But don't you think it's gone to the extreme now?
Yes, maybe, but he allows this all to happen. He doesn't say
Well-
anything when I don't give money. I mean,
Well, let's back it up.
Okay.
He came to you at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me the circumstances that arose that made him come to you and say, you got to start paying rent. Did something happen?
Nothing really. I don't know if anything happened. He just he said now that I'm like 27 that I should be more responsible and independent, start doing things on my own. But every time I wanted to come back home, he opened the door and let me in, and there was no like questions or oh, you can only stay here for this amount of time. He
Well,
said
maybe he
it's
did
okay.
that because you were younger. But
Yeah.
now, 16 weeks ago, he came to you and he said, you all came up with $60 a week as a good amount, right?
Yes.
And you agreed to that.
I did.
Okay.
But-
so after the first week, you decided not to pay.
Because
And the second week.
I don't
And
make-
the third week. And the fourth week. And 16 weeks later.
You're here in court with Judge
And
Penn.
she's still costing me a fortune.
What kind of, wait, what
I
what-
just
what-
hit her eyes. LASIX, $5,000.
but it's not my fault that I don't have good eyes. You created me.
Wait a
You
second.
gave me the bad genes.
You know, this is. Your Honor, this is why we're here.
All right, enlighten us on what else you've been paying for.
Well, I had her teeth fixed. They were capped. Not capped, they were bonded. That was $5,000.
That's also not my
I
fault.
bought her a couple of
That,
cars. I buy her clothes. I take her on vacation.
But he does this because it makes him feel good.
No,
It does.
see, she's missing the whole point.
Why don't you share what you think the
Just because it makes him feel good doesn't mean that you are owed that. You can be appreciative and not so freaking entitled. Wow.
point is?
The point is, I've had enough. She's 27. I do not want to enable anymore.
Yes.
I need God. I need a judge.
Well, something's going on because you can tell that your father has gotten to the point where enough is enough. Do you think your dad owes you something?
I don't think he owes me anything. I don't know.
I just really want you to be honest, and if that's how you feel, share. Enlighten us.
It's not that I feel that he owes me anything, but I mean, my whole life it's been that, he's always made sure I had the nicest things, and, he always bought me stuff, and...
But you were a little girl. Now he wants you to be a grown woman.
Yes, I do. Please,
Yes.
Your Honor.
And he would still,
It's time. It is absolutely time.
your dad has worked hard and
Yeah.
has been a good provider.
Yes.
But
yes.
what he wants for you now is to go on. See, the problem with you selecting men is because you're looking for a man to do what your daddy did instead of you doing it for yourself.
Yes I am spoiled that way because
But you're not going to find a man who's going to do for you all of this that your father has done for you. I can tell you that right now.
No, she
Yeah.
likes the bad boy.
Oh, well, naturally so.
Why? Why the bad boy?
Well, why would you like the bad boys? What's that about?
They're just more fun. I don't know. I have fun. It's not that I look for them.
That don't
just
work.
happens to
The
be
bad boy that
the
does
ones
not
that,
work.
Yeah, see, let me tell you. The
Well, you
thing-
were bad when you were young.
No,
Yes, you were.
Now, I
He
know
was. He was
that.
a bad
13
boy in
years
the
old,
neighborhood.
pot washer, then a dishwasher. Then I graduated to be a busboy, then a waiter, then a bartender.
Are you listening to this?
Then I owned my own business. Then I went into the Teamsters for 25 years, 16 hours a day
Yes.
for 25 years. Do I want to give everything?
And look how great he's
Absolutely.
become, though.
Enough is enough.
Yes.
Grow up.
Do you think this is a product of the way that he raised her, or do you think that it is just a product of the generation? You know, that's something that's interesting to think about.
I have a son I raised. He's in law enforcement. He was in the Marine Corps. But this is a new one because this has been going on for 10 years, Your Honor.
I'm a late bloomer.
She's a late bloomer. I've heard that for 10 years. She's a late bloomer. She's going into the United States Marine Corps.
Really?
That's her latest.
You've already signed up?
Yes.
That's a definitive yes.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
I'm enlisted right now as a reservist.
Okay.
So
If she goes in,
I figured it'd be a good career.
from her lips to God's ears. Would I like her to
still
go
doesn't
in?
believe me. He doesn't
Yes, I
think I'll
would.
go in.
Yeah. Were you thinking it's going to make a woman out of her?
13 weeks of Paris Island would
Yeah.
definitely make a woman out of her.
Well, you know, one thing that you said, and I have to be honest with you, I admire you so much because I came from humble beginnings too. But do you know it's in that struggle that we have a sense of pride and a sense of gratefulness that young people today, you know, our theory was that if we gave them everything that we didn't have, since we had to struggle so much, then we thought, I'm talking to me too, that surely they would go further than I could have even gone. But it didn't happen.
No.
We got a whole generation of kids that believes the world owes them something.
We have a lot of work to do
And
here.
we kind of did it. But what I'm proud about with you is you're saying enough is enough. I can tell you've had it.
I have had it.
Yeah, I can tell.
I mean-
Because really, it's really about respect too. What do you think, Lauren?
Yes, it is.
Because your dad has made you daddy's little girl. Tell me, how does that feel, even having that? Could you share that with me?
It feels really good. I mean, I was loved my whole life, and I had a lot of friends that weren't. So it was, it felt really good. I came from a very loving family.
So when he's saying now, see, that's the part that I'm not understanding. If you had a father that almost worshiped the ground you walk on, because look at all he's done for you, and then how much he's worth, and you end up with these men who are not worth a quarter. You have to train yourself. You know, I used to fall into that category, but I did because I didn't have a father. So you have to train yourself to love people without the drama.
Yeah.
I mean, this can't keep going on. So when he came to you and he said, I got to charge you rent, he meant it.
Yes, he did.
You didn't quite realize that?
No, well, I did, but I just felt like that because I didn't make that much money, and he
You make
seems
enough
to have
to pay
enough
it.
money.
Well,
that
what you
he
make?
didn't really
I think
need
you
much.
make what, $200 a week?
Yeah, about that.
And all he wants, and that's $60 to live and eat his food.
Cable,
Yes.
computer,
Air
use of my
conditioning.
car,
Yeah.
The car too?
everything.
But Bob, I saw
know.
here where you pay her gas and insurance.
Well, you know
See,
what?
it's not
I'm
all
guilty.
my fault.
I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of. She actually installed the buttons on me to push. She knows where to push them and when to push them.
So what does she do? She just comes to you and she starts
So
banging
you're
her
obviously
eyelash.
aware.
Oh,
Care
I'll
of
be
it.
angry with her. She'll say, "Oh, what's the matter, Daddy? You need a baba? What the heck's that?"
Well, because he gets cranky. He gets cranky sometimes.
Yeah.
But like,
Now, this is a Teamster now.
Yeah.
You got him wrapped around your little finger, and I think you know it. Well, why do you think you keep falling for all her tricks?
Like I said, she installed the buttons. She knows how to push them, but now the buttons are stopped. They're disconnected.
I'll find more.
No, you want to be able to. Lauren, don't you think you want to be able to respect your dad? Because, baby, listen, now you're 27 years old. Let me paint the picture, right?
Okay.
You living in the house for free. He pays for your gasoline. That alone is more than the rent.
Paid for beauty school.
Okay, what's about the beauty school?
Well,
She became a
he
hairdresser?
said I could go to college, and I didn't want to do the whole 4-year college thing or anything. I chose to go to beauty school.
Okay.
I told her she needed a trade then.
Okay, so he paid for that.
Yes.
Okay,
$6,100
all right.
cash.
Okay, and every time you leave the house and you come back, because when you went with the boyfriend, it's my understanding that you would come and act like the house was the grocery store.
Sometimes.
No, she'd come over and take. Oh, I need this or I
But
need
not
that,
al-
and bring
not
her
always.
laundry over.
Well,
Not the laundry.
Yeah, but but not the
Yeah.
boyfriend's laundry.
No, I wasn't allowed to bring his laundry.
Well, you had to put your foot down.
I mean, the boyfriend was looking for a job every Monday for the last 5 years with no Mondays
That's not
ever
true.
coming. That's true. That's true.
No, it
He
isn't.
doesn't work.
So what's going to happen now that Dad has come and we can all see that he has had enough? And really what has happened is they have a sense of entitlement. And they think they're old. You think you're owed all of this.
Yeah, she does. Not owed, but she thinks that it's.
Well, he's
He
entitled to
offers
it.
it, and he
Because if
does
you
it.
have it, she's thinking she ought to have it. Am I
Well,
right?
yes, yes.
That's entitlement. That's
Right.
the definition of entitlement.
Okay, then yes.
You think you're entitled just by virtue of him having it. He's the one who worked all those years, came from nothing,
Yes.
worked his way up, negotiated Teamster's contract. Look at this good-looking man. Has worked hard. Yes, you are a good-looking man. I can see where it falls. You've done really well, in other words. But she's got you wrapped around her little finger, don't you think, Damon? I mean, really. And I envy you in many ways, my dear, because you don't know how many women grew up without having a daddy, especially a good daddy like this one.
Who loves her?
Who loves her.
You know?
You have a father who's been there for you, but you have to be a little more grateful. Because really what he's asking, he didn't come in here saying he's cutting you off the insurance and the gas, although I think he needs to stop paying your gas. Because that'll stop you. He has really invested in you becoming quite the young lady. And it's time now, don't you think, Lauren?
Yes.
Do you really do, sweetheart?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's time. You want to make your daddy proud, as proud as he is of your brother. Now, I know you know he's proud of his son. Yeah.
Very well. He was a Marine also, my son.
Okay.
And then he became a police officer. But if my daughter does go into the Marine Corps,
going.
which she's supposedly going,
Well,
I'd like
you've
to bring her
signed up.
back, and maybe there would be a terrific improvement.
Before I render my decision, let me just give you some female advice.
Okay.
Okay? Let me say this, honey. Don't settle for a man that can't be as good to you as your father. Don't settle. For men who won't treat you right, you don't have to do that. There's the saying always, you can do bad by yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need a man to bring you down. That's the first thing. Number two is, your father's not going to be here always, and your mother. They're not. One day they're going to make a transition. And you've got to be a woman and stand on your own 2 feet.
Yes.
Doesn't mean he doesn't love you. But you don't want to get something because you're having to manipulate him to get it. Because then he won't feel good about giving it. So do you think you're going to start paying the rent?
Yes.
That's going to be the number one follow-up I want to do. Because after all you have in the long run, and he'll tell you that, is your word. People come into court all the
does
time
say
about
that.
a contract.
He does say that.
Yeah, you can do anything else.
That's
You
more
don't-
important than anything is your
it's
word.
Let me tell you something. I tell that to people, everything. And in the world where I am, I'm always amazed that people don't value your word. All a person has is their word.
Yes.
You may not go on to do anything else, but all you have is your word. You promised a man who has adored you, Dad, I'll give you $60. I do find at this time that there was indeed an oral contract and that you agreed to pay your daddy $60 a week for rent and expenses to live in the house. I think it's a steal, quite frankly. But we have taken Daddy's little girl to the extreme, okay? All right, at this time, I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $960, which represents $60 per week for the last 16 weeks. I'm going to give you that. But if she doesn't pay it again, cut her loose. Again, I need some scissors to cut that umbilical cord. All
you,
right?
Your Honor.
Okay, court is adjourned.
All right.
I completely agree with that judgment. You know, Judge Penny is so good at this. I love watching her. And it's so true. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is a product of the generation? I know I asked that earlier, but like watching this, of course, it's a little bit of both, like the product of her generation and a product of the way that he raised her. Because he grew up, came from nothing, had to work his butt off for all of his success, right? And then he wanted to give his daughter everything. So, and that's like very common with this generation, right? So there is so much that you can do when you harm, I guess is the word that you can do, that when you give your kids everything and they don't work for anything, they become entitled like her. So what do you guys think about the judgment? Do you think it was too much, too little, or just right? I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know. Love ya.